put the sidr on his body, he put the karfoor on his body, he put the itar, the good smell, the fragrance on his body. Everything is done. Now the time came to wrap him in the shroud. What happened? That the family members came in and they says, excuse me, you did the ghusl, you can go. He said, why? He says, no, we will wrap him with the kafan. We will wrap him with the shroud. So this was very strange request from the family member. Well, if this is the case, why you didn't give the ghusl by yourself? Like you waited me doing everything, and only when it's coming to the wrapping to the body from the shroud, they are saying, no, you're done, your job is done, you please leave. At the end, I give benefit of doubt that okay, the family at the end, they want to see him, they want to kiss him, they want to hug this person. So he took his stuff and he kept the shroud, and he just said that you have to wrap it in this way and that way, and he gave the instructions and he left. He reached to the cemetery where they will bring the body later on, the family, and they will pray upon him. They will pray on this dead person, and then they will put him in the grave. So the sheikh says, how's everything? All good? He says, yes, everything is good, but they asked me at the end something. I feel it's strange, but at the end I gave them what they requested for. He says, what is that? He says, they asked me that they want to wrap him with the kafan. No problem, okay, not a big deal. They didn't pay too much attention to this. But when the body came to the graveyard for the prayer, the funeral prayer, and the dafn, the burial process, the man who gave the ghusl is looking into the body, and he says, Ya Sheikh, I'm not comfortable. The body was not like this. He said, what do you mean the body was not like this? He says, well, I can see the hand is not in the right position. The hand of that person is not in the right position. Well, what do you mean? He says, well, I'm not comfortable. There is something wrong. Of course, it's covered. They don't see the body, but from the shape of the body, and these people are experienced from 20 years plus, 15 years plus, 30 years plus, like Sheikh Abbas, they can see the kafan and the body, and they can know, the situation of a person, how he's been kept. So the Sheikh says, open the shroud to that student. He said, Ya Sheikh, but it's not allowed. Legally it's not allowed after, we receive the body and the body is wrapped. He says, I'm telling you, open the shroud. And the man opened the shroud. What he found? He found the left hand of that person was broken and was kept behind his back. In his hand, there was some papers, and that inside the papers, it was nothing but magic. On his forehead, something was written. When the sheikh started reading what's exactly written on his face, he couldn't understand. And the sheikh says, definitely this is sihr, this is magic. On his chest, things was written, and he started to reading, he couldn't understand. What it was magic. The sheikh was shocked. What is this? And overall, breaking the bone of a dead person, the Prophet ﷺ says, breaking the bone of a dead person is exactly like breaking the bone of a live person. Means the body feels, the body goes through the pain. The only difference between the dead body and the person who's alive, that a person who's alive, he can say and express if there's a pain or if anything is going on. The dead person cannot. Even from the adab, from the etiquettes of the ghusl, that the water cannot be so cold, the water cannot be so hot. It should be the normal medium temperature water. Why? Because this is respecting the dead person. So the sheikh was shocked. And the sheikh says, okay, keep the body as it is. I'll go and talk to the father. He went and he saw the eldest person. He called him And he says, excuse me, the body, when my student, one of my person, went and gave the ghusl, the body was not like that. But now, the body, the hand is broken and being kept at the back of his body, like on the backside, and there are things on his forehead, there are things written on his chest. So, do you know about this? So this man become angry, this old man. He says, who gave you permission to open the shroud? Who told you this? This is not your job. Who are you? I will sue you. I will do this and that. So Sheikh Abbas says, I am the responsible person of this cemetery. And I will take all the responsibility of everything. And I want to ask you what happened to this body. I'm not going to tell you, you should bring the body and we should just make salah and do the burial process and that's it. The Sheikh says, I'm not going to do anything. And if you don't tell me what's going on, I will call the authorities. I will call the police. And the man, he was making a lot of problem. He was not listening. He was shouting and yelling. Who gave you the permission? Who told you? So at the end, the Sheikh calls the police, and they called also, they have this authority called Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi al Munkar. There's one authority joining the good, forbid the evil, and some Islamic authority that they come in these cases. So the police came, this other authority came, and they looked into this, and the other authority, the Islamic authority, they realized that this is nothing but magic. They broke his hand for certain, magic process because of some certain filthy things that the magician do. There was in his hand the sihr. There was on her forehead and chest written things which is sihr. And they said, either you tell us what is this, or you take this body and go and throw it in the middle of the road, because we are not accepting this body to be buried in the cemetery in Jeddah. So at the end, the father kept quiet and he says, well, I don't know, you can just do your thing. And he just withdraw himself from this problem. So the Sheikh Abbas washed his face, Sheikh Abbas washed his chest, he took what was in his hand and he bring his hand again on his body, and they give him ghusl again, and they put him in a new shroud, and they give the burial properly.